Who am I? You sure you want to know? The story of my life is not for the faint of heart. If somebody said it was a happy little tale, if somebody told you I was just your average, ordinary guy, not a care in the world, somebody lied. What's up, guys? So last night, at the time of this recording, I saw the original Spider-Man 2002 with Tobey Maguire, directed by Sam Raimi, back in the theaters. I saw it Monday night. As many of you may know, it has a new release where every single Monday, starting April 15th, I'm recording this on April 16th, obviously, and every single Monday moving forward, we're going to go through every single Spider-Man movie, all the Tobeys, all the Andrews, and all the Toms. What a time to be alive. So last night I had the privilege of seeing it in theaters on the big screen. I grew up on these movies. I saw the original Spider-Man movies in theaters when I was a kid, but that was such a long time ago. It's hard to remember what that was really truly like. And, you know, these movies mean so much to me. I was able to go see this movie the other day with my two cousins and my one friend, and one of my friends who I took with me actually never seen this movie before, which is actually absolutely insane, I know, but it was really cool to see him have his first experience in a packed crowd. My theater experience was packed. You had people cheering during the opening credits, you know, when Tobey first appeared. There was cheering when J. Jonah Jameson appeared. There was cheering. It wasn't like No Way Home. It wasn't super duper obnoxious, but it was enough fun and enough going on that it was just a really cool experience. What I learned about watching this movie in theaters is that this movie is like so funny, and I didn't really realize that before. I mean, I definitely laugh and I have fun with it. This is a movie I've rewatched a million times. This is one of my favorite superhero movies. I think at this point it's definitive. Like, Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man is arguably the best superhero comic book movie, however you want to call it, origin story of all time. It's definitely in the conversation. You have Batman Begins, you have Iron Man, you have a couple other things that people like, but even if you like this better, it doesn't really matter, because to me, this is easily the most rewatchable and the most iconic origin story. So even if it's not the best, which I think it possibly is, it's definitely the most rewatchable, it's definitely the most fun, it's definitely the most iconic, by far. What's so obvious about this movie is that the memes are just so strong and so powerful, and you can just tell that so many people loved and grew up on these movies, because just being in the theaters, you just had so many people laugh and go crazy over certain scenes and certain situations. Like when William Dafoe says, "I'm something of a scientist myself," like, you felt the build-up in the crowd. Like, not that everyone was like roaring or anything, but you just felt like everyone knew what was coming, and then once he said the line, a bunch of people started laughing, clapping, whatever, because there's just so much of that. The thing about these Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi, Spider-Man trilogy is that there's so many memes throughout all three movies, and being in a packed theater for the first time 22 years later, you really felt that, because there were so many different little things about the movie you didn't realize is so funny when you have a crowd of people watching it with you. It's a lot different when you're watching it at home. So this was really awesome to have the privilege to do that. And if you didn't see the first one, I highly recommend buying tickets to see some sort of Spider-Man movie while they're in theaters over this special, showing that they got going on. This movie is just so much fun. There's so much heart to it. The emotional depth with the Spider-Man story in itself. Like, Sam Raimi is able to capture this in such a simplistic and almost cheesy but charming way, to where this movie is fun, it's lighthearted, it's kind of goofy, but there's so much depth to the story, and there's so much relatability to the character of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Tobey is so iconic. He makes you feel like, such a relatable person, where he's an outcast, he's a loser, has no friends. He embodies, like, getting the powers. He embodies everything that Spider-Man's supposed to be, gets the powers, and, starts having more confidence and starts doing things. And, all the fantastical elements for its time, the CGI and this and that was great for its time. It might be dated somewhat now, but it doesn't matter. For its time, it was so big, it was so transcendent, that I mean, it was awesome, and it still stands to the test of time. And William Dafoe is, the definitive Green Goblin. I don't think he gets enough praise, honestly, and we got to see more of him in No Way Home, and he was awesome in that, probably even better, honestly. And I think that helps solidify that. William Dafoe is just amazing as the Green Goblin. This movie transcends superhero films. It's a rom-com. It's a movie about relationships and conflict with friends and family and, drama in life and being poor and trying to, make it out in the real world and, trying to find a job and get through high school and college and, all these different things. There's just so much layers to the character of Spider-Man, and Sam Raimi's version of that really captures all of that, and there's just so much heart and, just so much things that there's a reason why this movie is being released 20 plus years later, and this movie is just like, I mean, it's perfect. It's amazing. This movie will always have a special place in my heart for a lot of different reasons. I've been rewatching these movies, especially the first two, over the last couple of years when I became more diehard on the superheroes again. It's like every time I watch these movies, they get better. And that's the crazy part. It's like a couple of years ago, I watched them for the first time since decades, honestly. And I liked it, but I didn't love it. And I found myself over the course of the last couple of years rewatching it a bunch and a bunch and a bunch. And each time I like it more. So seeing it in theaters, it's like I just fell in love with it, even in a new experience with, all the technical aspects and just the charm of it all. And another thing that is going to make this movie more special for me personally is I lost my dog 2 weeks ago. And that was a very devastating experience. That's something that's going to be very hard on me for a very long time, possibly forever. And I haven't been able to watch a single movie for like the last 2 weeks. And that might not seem like that big a deal to you guys. I'm new to the YouTube thing and this and that. But movies in itself, and it's a big reason why I made this channel, have been a big part of my life over the last 3 to 4 years. It's something that I became very obsessed over, doing Letterboxd, watching, ranking, rating movies. It's the reason why I am making the channel to begin with. I've been watching guys like Sean Chandler Talks About, Drum Dums, Cody Leach, 3C Films, guys like that, and many more for the last multiple years where I watch movies like superhero films, horror films, and then I just love to watch YouTube videos of those guys talking about the same films, and I like watching those over and over and over. So because of that, I became such a movie buff over these last couple of years, and over these last couple of weeks, like I found myself in the last year, I watched over 300 plus new movies, and then in the last 2 weeks, like I've had no strength to possibly watch anything new. I know I'm kind of going heavy in a lot, but this was the first movie, and I already had planned tickets to go see it, that I've seen since the passing. And this was the perfect movie for me to come out of, not really having the strength for the ability to watch any new movies, or not even new movies because I've seen Spider-Man, but even rewatch movies I love. I found myself recently, not having the energy to do that. I've been doing other things and, building my relationship with God, and also, just watching silly, goofy, turn your brain off stuff like TV shows and sitcoms and this and that, stuff that I haven't really cared to watch in a long time because I just needed something lighter. So watching Spider-Man in theaters, this will always resonate me in that regard, because this movie's always meant something to me, and now it means even more to me in that aspect. I know I'm going very deep, but that's the beauty of movies. That's why I'm making a channel. At this point of me making this video, I have 26 subscribers. I hope to gain more in the future. But I just wanted to give you a little insight of what's going on in my life and just let you know, like, yeah, I love superhero movies. I love Spider-Man. I love the movies. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, it's probably because you're the same way. Because most people aren't going to come across a Spider-Man review video, especially a guy like me that has like no subscribers, unless you're like really into that stuff. And that's at least the type of audience I want to build. People that, really love and are passionate about movies and, especially superhero films and horror films, because I'm a nerd over that stuff. That's why we're talking about it. I just realized I never said his name, so I just wanted to say, R.I.P. Kaiba. I'll miss you, buddy. Okay, so now that we got that little rant over, leave a comment down below. What does this movie mean to you? I want to get to the heart of this movie. I'm not going to go into all the technical details of, Spider-Man and this and that. We all know it's awesome. Otherwise, I don't know what to tell you. It's awesome, right? Where does the first Spider-Man stack up in your Spider-Man ranking? How much does it mean to you? Did you grow up on the Tobey movies? Did you see the movie in theaters just like me? And if you did, how was your experience? Like I said, mine was great, and it was really cool at the same time. Like I said, I brought a friend who never even seen any of the Spider-Man movies before. I think he said he saw Spider-Man 2 as a little kid, but he doesn't really remember it. So I'm taking him to see Spider-Man 2 as well, and hopefully 3, so we at least see the Tobey trilogy. But if you haven't seen this first movie, are you gonna see the rest of the movies in theaters or any of them? I plan to see Spider-Man 2. I already got tickets for that, and Spider-Man 3. After that, I'm gonna play it by ear. I want to make videos on all the Spider-Man movies and make a ranking by the end of this. All the live-action Spider-Man movies. I'm not gonna include the Spider-Verse movies just yet because I want to make a ranking strictly on live action. I think it's easier to make a ranking on that type of stuff. Uh, Animation films, it's hard to compare sometimes, but maybe when, Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out in the future, I'll make a review series of those and then include the live action with this. But as of right now, especially with these being in theaters, I just want to make it all about, Tobey, Andrew, and Tom. So yeah, comment down below any thoughts on the movie Spider-Man. What do you love about it? And like, comment, subscribe so you can see more content and so you can follow me on my journey on the Spider-Man movies and just any content in general. Subscribe so you can eventually see my Spider-Man ranking so you can see where it stacks up amongst, the other movies. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Subscribe!